26th episode. Alrighty.
Good.
Hello, everyone.
Whoa.
Welcome to our 26th episode of Brotato Capital. We have four of the members tonight, with Tom currently on a Europe trip. He thought it was acceptable to leave the markets where they are to go and enjoy himself, which is it's not tolerable in our community, in our group. So we have Z tonight, who's joining us, which is good. We've got
Hello.
Sticks and we've got Wonal, and you have myself. There could be another person that could jump on, depending on if we get bored of things to talk about. But we'll see how it goes. So you've stuck with us for. There is no Ledger tonight, RIP. We did try to contact him. I think whoever is listening to this and commented on my post and shared it around, I very much appreciate that. And we will reach out to him again in the future, but obviously we're probably not big enough, so that is all good. So hopefully I've stalled enough for Wonal to fix whatever's going on in the background,
we're
and we
good.
can kick this off. Good. All right, fantastic. We'll get stuck into it.
Awesome. All right, so I guess this week has been a relatively slow news week in the scheme of things. I think like the biggest thing that probably most of us have gone through this week has probably been the celebrity drama. That has been probably the most tiring fucking thing I have ever seen in the last like couple of years of being in crypto. Like I think the first few times that like it happens is like, oh cool, you know, some celebrities and then they rug, but like this week was just like the cringest of cringe. What was your guys' thoughts around that whole scenario there?
As you said, I'm like very against, like I know there's some people that are like Ansem, for instance, that have been trying to like defend his position on like onboarding celebrities which will onboard normies, and it's just like, you're not onboarding anyone if they're just going to come into crypto, launch a fucking rug and then leave in like 2 weeks basically. There's all right, maybe fucking Iggy will stay for like a month or something. I don't even know. Like obviously her coin's pumping, but all the others just come in, launch a rug, use their, you know, 1 to 2 million followers to just get some liquidity, and yeah, they basically just dump whatever fucking money they can make because they're all like D-class celebrities. I'm looking at them all, and they're all rappers from like 2018, 2019, 2017.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant, like haven't released music, not popular anymore, not making any money, and they just want to like fucking try to extract as much as they can out of this fucking market for themselves basically. And it's like, I'm not participating in it, and it's like one of the only things that I've been like very heavily against, and it's just like kind of just pissed me off in the last few days, so I've just sort of taken a back step. Yeah,
That's fair. What about you, Z? How do you feel about this?
I also took a back step. I started my hiatus like the day Iggy Azalea came on. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not aping any fucking celebrity coins. So I haven't really been on Twitter much or doing much. So I have missed a lot. I've been in the Telegram here and there, so I've been seeing like these randoms launching coins like Trippy Red, like Irrelevant, Floyd, like I don't know, something tagged that Sahil guy. I don't know, all this bullshit. So yeah, not getting involved. Refuse.
I'm also
it
like,
it might be fading wealth, but I'd rather like keep my sanity.
yeah, I'm also very like bearish on individual coins of like a coins of an individual. Because it's so, I don't know how to explain it. You just can't really relying on an opinion of like one individual for a coin, unless it's like you're picking like a Trump Bowden, which isn't like an individual. It's sort of just like the entire political spectrum. So it's like it's got all that community. Whereas you're like backing a specific individual, and if they don't do what you're hoping they do, it's like it's over. So I'm just so bearish, and it's so like, it's going to be so diluted in the next like week or two. I'm just like, fuck this.
I just pulled up the mother chart from the Iggy coin,
Fuck
and
that coin.
it's I just can't believe that like at the peak FUD of it all, it's up now, 100x or
Yeah, but
like
what about all the other coins, like every other celebrity coin?
100%, 100%. Like I
Yeah,
feel like the only reason why the Iggy coin did well is because it was probably like the center of attention of it initially, and she like actually come up and did the spaces and seemed to
yeah,
like the amount of tweets I saw when she was doing the spaces of people saying, "Oh my god, she's so based," like during that time, because I was like wage cocking at the time. I was like, "Oh my god, this is bad." But whereas like the others were somewhat like more scammy, just coming in and being like, "Yep, releasing a coin," whereas like Iggy seemed to on the surface show some sort of genuine interest in the space, and potentially that's why like this is probably like the only coin that's going to do well, but yeah, I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. I don't know if any of you caught the spaces when Ansem was talking to that DeVito guy. So
Danny DeVito.
not Danny DeVito, no.
who is
But
that guy? Is he like a
so
rapper or something?
he's like a Nigerian house
Oh, that
artist
guy.
or something.
Okay.
And I think in like previous cycles he came and did a bunch with crypto before, and crypto is pretty big in Nigeria, like as it is now. It's like Phantom app is the number one app in the app store in Nigeria, and it's something to do with another app called Tap Talk or something. But because the Nigerian currency is like so shit, then crypto's sort of made its way through the whole country there quite substantially. So anyway, this guy has come out. He's done a meme coin on Solana. He's then like his wallet address is like done a pump.fun coin as well. But his wallet address can be seen like actively dumping these coins. Anyway, I was like managed to catch a little bit of the spaces, and dude that's on the space is like trying to explain to him how crypto works and how Solana works, and the DeVito guy, either he's playing dumb or like he's like genuinely got no idea, but he didn't even know what Phantom wallet was, and this guy was like trying to shill him stable coins and something like that. He's like, "All right, need you to download Phantom wallet right now, and like I'm gonna send you $10 and blah blah blah." And then this DeVito guy is like pretending to go along with it, or he does go along with it. But I'm like, how the fuck are you selling all your coins right now and then saying that you don't even know what fucking Phantom wallet is? Like you're either just absolutely scamming the community, or someone in your team's like doing this actively, and or you're just playing like the face of it all just to try and milk it. But like overall, it's just like the scammiest shit I've seen, and it just like makes me so tired of like what we're trying to do here overall.
Yeah, 100%. It's just the classic every cycle same bullshit, really. Like
Just a bit early.
just in a bit, yeah, just recycled again. They come back. They'll come back next fucking cycle. They'll come back to cycle. They'll always come back. So
Well, I hope it's early at least, and this isn't the top. But
yeah, no, I don't think it is. Just based off the fact that, like if you go back and look at when Mia Khalifa was and Doge and stuff like that, when she was
True.
shilling that. That was
Who's
a
Mia
that was
Khalifa, Sticks? Who's Mia Khalifa? I don't know who that
Can't-
person is.
I don't
can't
actually know.
reveal for security
Activist,
purposes.
I think an activist.
Yeah,
An
okay.
activist, very responsible young female.
I think
Yeah, Doge was at like 7 cents when she did that, and it pumped another 10x. But yeah, not sure.
I think there's a current trend that I've started to see, at least, is that do you guys remember when there was a Coin Fashions post? This probably happened in 2023, where there was a Coin Fashions post where there was a professional basketballer that came out and said that he enjoys being on CT because it's fun, but he prefers to stay anonymous. And this guy ended up replying to SatStart and saying, the connection was made to the confession, and then the guy, I can't remember his name, but he replied to SatStart, and then Sats was like, "Oh, I can't believe this person follows me," and then that person commented on it, said, "Yeah, I've been on CT for ages, and I think it's hilarious." But he chose to remain as like from the sidelines or an anon. What I've noticed that the people that aren't prepared or well versed in overall crypto context or like CT law, if that's even the right terminology, tend to get washed pretty hard. So like the Floyd Mayweather types. What I've seen is that like when Iggy Azalea launched her coin, she was quite defensive and tried to use like terminology to state that she was like involved with this
Mm.
for quite some time. So the trend is like people know about the space, but they also know about the attention economy that goes on within the space, not in the sense of the terminology of attention economy when it comes to trading or like investing, but more so to do with like people get rinsed in a space. Like look at KSI, right? Like he got rinsed and then he tried to come back and then come and claim that he was like a good trader or something like that. And he had to make up this like kind of story to say that he was like, oh, you know, I was a really good trader and then it affected my health, so I had to step away from it because I'm very obsessive over these things and like to win. We don't know how like true that is because he never posted any sort of like wallets or like APIs to say that he was that good. But there's this overall like consensus that they kind of need to win the space for them to stay relevant within the context of what CT is all about.
Yeah, no,
In my
that's true.
opinion. And so I think there is a way that they can do that, but I don't think it's meme coins. I think it has to revolve around NFTs or ordinals for that to sort of work in the long term. But yeah, I don't know. I've noticed this trend, and I think it's quite interesting to watch it unfold. And like anyone that comes in here and gets rinsed, like Raoul Pal got rinsed. You know, like this guy apparently is like a genius economist and has worked with like major banks. He still to this day will preface a decision that he got wrong, which was ETH calls, before he does any major talk about price appreciation because he knows how bad that's burnt for him within the context of the space. So it's like a really interesting thing to watch unfold. I don't know what that means for prices or anything, but like, yeah, I've just noticed this trend and I think it's like quite interesting to be honest.
Yeah, that is interesting. Like, I think like there's like a weird middle ground where like we want to get some sort of, you know, actual mass adoption. And if we're being honest with ourselves, like all of us are here to sort of how do I say it, make money at the end of the day. So
Yeah, you can just say it straight out. That's what it is.
yeah. So like we're all here to make money. We all want like quote unquote retail to return, you know, to ultimately dump our bags onto the most uninformed participant. Was that's generally how markets work. But what we do want is not necessarily like take our bags and them fucking have a Luna like or FTX like experience. More like we got in early enough before the trend sort of took stronger mass appeal, and then we passed the baton on to the next lot of participants that want to play the game from the different starting line to the next one. But ultimately the end goal for all of us here is to try and make money. So if you're a celebrity and you're coming into the space, and you also see this as an opportunity, you're like, I'm a little bit late to the game. How do I also myself make money, but also use my platform to try and introduce it as well? And you could just play the game much the same as all of us would. But the one thing that we don't have that they have is a platform. So if you're coming in straight into it, like, do you go and just like go pick the top coins and try and do a KSI style thing where you pick the majors and you try and trade around it, and either you're right or wrong and potentially have some brand reputation around that, or do you release a coin that's associated to you, make guaranteed money, and then still suffer the same brand reputation? So it is a hard sort of like thing when you put it in that perspective, but it would be nice if the attention that the space was getting was more around the benefits that comes from the technology around, stable coins, for example, or just, not your keys, not your coins type sort of narratives around banks, etc., and money printing. It'd be nice if they came in for that reason. But ultimately, what draws most people's attention to it is the fact that they can make a lot of money really quickly. And because that's the initial buy-in, like I can see why these celebrities come in and do this, but it just makes the space look shit when we're trying to drum up all of these, this attention from institutions, etc., and get governments to actually agree to us doing this shit.
Good point.
Yeah, spot on. I think you had a good point, Swiss, with the fact that CT, like for instance, I listened to a bit of that Iggy Spaces, and some of the terminology, to her credit, that she was using sounded like she actually understood a bit of like our culture, which is probably why people felt more comfortable to buy her coin as opposed to,
for sure,
as opposed to like Jenner's coin or whatever the fuck, Bruce Jenner's coin or any of the others. So if like the people that are speculating in this, which I am not, that they will feel comfortable by hers because she said trenches. Like I think she knows what she's doing to a degree.
Yeah.
So I think you're spot on with the fact that like there is a element of like having a bit of knowledge or of the law in a sense that helps with these celebrities, because most of them, like all those dudes like Rich the Kid, Trippie Redd, like Lil Pump, all those dudes just, they're like, yo, Solana is the new shit, and then they'll post their contract and they'll never do anything ever again after they sell their thing. So
They'll never do anything again.
yeah, it's funny, but yeah, I'm not fucking participating in this shit. I hate it.
Yeah. One of the downsides of this though is that like if they're launching meme coins, then where's the alpha to accumulate what to then outperform that, if that makes sense? So like the markets are down, if not sideways. I think there will be an altcoin bleed against the majors enough that people will just like reconsider their life choices. But you kind of in this environment, if it is like celebrities launching meme coins, you kind of want to be able to say, oh, that's all right if that goes up 300% in a day because I'm in this thing that happens to provide this benefit and has a purpose or utility, God forbid, and that's going up more. But at the moment, it's like the meme coins are popping off. The scammier stuff is popping off harder, and you're just like sitting in these high conviction bags, or I am anyway, that are just bleeding. And it's like, this doesn't make me feel any better about being in this space, even if I'm like, if you're not winning, it's just kind of like,
Fuck this.
yeah.
I'm not winning.
Well, I saw that there was. I mean, I've been keeping an eye on it, but stablecoin market cap hasn't really gone up recently. It's sort of stalled a bit. So I guess it's just the same money being like washed around, rinsed around into new narratives. Like people are trying to chase Ondo, then next week they might want to chase more meme coins, and then they might rotate. So it's like it's just a rotation at the moment. Hopefully, if we get some sort of, ETH ETF approval and maybe a couple rate cuts, a couple rate cuts automatically mean we get more stablecoin. The market cap of stablecoins will just go up instantly, no matter what. But yeah, hopefully that the ETH ETF adds a bit more appetite for alts. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it's probably an interesting topic here just around. So this week we had Trump get convicted. Well, at least the jury made a decision on 37 counts on the election fraud case that he was going through. And literally like 24 hours later, the so-called Democrat pivot into supporting crypto turned around with Biden turning down the House of Representatives bill around the SEC no longer sort of monitoring and managing the crypto space. it does seem that like the timing of all of this, along with the ETH ETF, like if this case had settled itself a week or two earlier, like probably we wouldn't have seen the ETH ETF approval as much. So it will be interesting to see if like there's any shenanigans that play out in the next like few weeks. If I kind of made a joke tweet about it today, but it'd be funny if they were like, "Psych, yeah, you filed your S1s, but we're not approving it." So suckers.
I saw that. Yeah.
It would be funny,
Like
but
it'd be
also it would
funny,
be kind
but
of
not
dumb.
funny.
Yeah, it wouldn't be funny for
really,
my
really
bags.
funny.
Really funny.
But I think it's too late now. They have to sort of new
Yeah.
paradigm accept it because, as I said, in the previous podcast, it's not that they're just because of Trump endorsing crypto, it automatically makes the Democrats the anti-crypto party unless they pivot. So. Yeah, them denying would just sort of signal to a lot of people that they are like not pro crypto, and yeah, I guess everyone in crypto would just vote for Trump. And yeah, that would be quite bearish though in the short term.
Yeah.
Not good for bags.
Let's not entertain that scenario. Let's not.
No, that would be horrible.
I feel like approval though with zero volume would be even more bearish. I feel rather than a non-approval.
I mean, that sort of happened with the BTC ETF at the start. Like, it just depends. Like, we had the BTC ETF and it was like a sell the news for like the first week or two.
Correct.
And then we started to get some really clean inflows after that. And then it like really accelerated to a point where it like pumped 50% instantly.
Yeah.
But I could see a scenario where like the ETH ETF gets really good approvals at the start. Oh, sorry, really good inflows at the start. Like we get like good numbers and then it just sort of trickles down and then BTC still sort of dominates it in a sense.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
fair.
It's hard to tell how institutions will view ETH because on one hand, ETH to institutions seems logical because it's actually like more than just like store of value if that's how people view BTC. But then also it could just like, you know, if it's not the environment for that, people might just not want to hold, you know, tech. That either want to hold, you know, gold or BTC or I don't know, like how people will view, how normies in TradFi will view ETH. Yeah, because like BTC's narrative's pretty simple. It's just like, you know, digital store of value if that's how people view it. But like, whereas or like, you know, currency hedge against currency debasement or money printing, I guess. But I don't know how people view ETH. I guess it's like a risk on techie type play, sort of just like the big tech stocks, I guess. But I don't know how they're going to view it.
Yeah, I think Larry Fink probably, they're like the way I view it is like you wouldn't have all of these institutions putting up these ETFs in the first place if they didn't think that it was going to be any demand.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
right.
100%.
For one. Secondly, I think like what. Like as a longer term time horizon thing, like Bitcoin's great with its narrative that it's got around store of value, etc. But the real world asset type narrative, I think, is massive, provided you can get the adoption on it. And like Chainlink's doing a lot of stuff in the background around working with different banks and partners like Swift in enabling sort of the tokenization of real world assets. And I think ETH as a settlement layer has, you know, proved itself time and again that it is a great place from a security point of view. Like it is like the king of smart contracts at the end of the day. And like most of ETH's FUD historically has just come around like its gas price and how expensive it is to transact on the chain. And I've just put up on the screen now current gas prices on ETH mainnet, and it's 8 Gwei. So
yeah,
like
it's but like also, do you really fucking think people in institutions give a fuck about gas price? Like,
no. So they don't. But like if you're looking at it as like from a ETH roadmap and everything point of view, like you'd you know, you got the L2s and all of that. Like you would think that, you know, with the ETH demand and with the ETH narrative coming up, that maybe you'd see a bit more ETH mainnet activity. But I think to your point earlier, Sticks, is like there's no new stable coins being like introduced into the space right now, and it's just the same amount of money just like swashing around. And despite all of the ETH narrative at the moment, like mainnet is still so fucking cheap. It's like
It's dead. It's quite dead, to be fair. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. Like there's so much going on Solana, like if on chain, and Solana's getting like really efficient, to a point where like it is difficult. Like I'm not even considering buying any new coins on
Nah.
like any new coins to gamble on, just because like the time I reckon after like the Bowden was launched, like that whole meta,
Yeah.
it got like significantly harder to find coins that will pump to like 3, 4, 500 mil or close to a billion market cap.
100%. 100%.
Like obviously the early coins, like the culty ones that were first presented to us, like with like Popcat, all those like were, you know, they built strong communities or whatever. There's obviously smaller like communities now, but I think it's just so hard to, because of the efficiency. Like traders would literally prefer to just rotate after like, you know, it gets to a certain point of like 50 to 100 mil, like so they just prefer to rotate.
And all of the tooling's been built out now, right?
Exactly.
So like all of
Yeah.
the sniper bots, like all of the
They're
like
so efficient. It's crazy. Yeah.
everyone's got all of that sorted now. And like you can kind of see on ETH mainnet now, like the top 50 gas users, like you've got Uniswap, Tether, and then Banana Gun and Maestro. So like it's showing you that like there is some activity happening on ETH again, and that activity is just around those small coins and like PvP sort of environment, because those tools are, you know, essential for that. And then next after that, you've got like Jared from Subway with all your Mev bots. So, you know, there is some activity happening there. There is some activity happening in Sol, but like it's like you said before, it's just the same amount of money, just like rotating between each other. And you know, some of us are losing, some of us are winning, but there's no new money entering the space. There's no like sort of PVE environment that like we all sort of had back in March, which is why everything feels pretty shit right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty brain dead way to view it, as just like looking at the stablecoin market cap, but it works so like efficiently in the sense that if you just follow the stablecoin market cap,
100%.
obviously it's hard to like position yourself like by following the stablecoin market cap. Obviously you position yourself earlier than that, but yeah, it has a very good correlation with you know, PVE type environments, and yeah, the stablecoin market cap going up as it did from like October to March, say. Like there was some really good if you were on CT every day, there was like endless opportunities in those 6 months. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Sol on chain continues, because I am personally like bearish on new launches and very bullish on coins that are established that have, you know, some form of centralized exchange listing, whether that be like on a Bybit perps or obviously like the big boys that have the Binance, like Pepe's, stuff like that. So I'm preferring to just stick with the cults that are already established, but you never know. I mean, there's always opportunities. Like, don't get me wrong, but
100%.
I just don't think I have an edge. I just feel like I will lose money if I was to try to find new coins every day. So yeah, I'm just sticking away.
I think you can sort of tell like whenever the majors get bid. So like the last week, like whenever we've had like any sort of like few hours of like positive flows into like BTC and ETH, like you can see that those coins tend to do well. But because those flows aren't sustained, like it just sort of bleeds back out. And then because like it's a beta function, so it's like if BTC bleeds down like a couple of percent, or not even a couple of percent, like it doesn't move that much these days. But all of the others take a hit too. So it's like you can see that there's a willingness to bid like when there is flows, but when the volume dies down, it's just like it all just dies in the ass. So it's like the only thing that can, you know, really save us right now is just the majors being bid again properly, in my view. And
Which
equity
isn't
is
a
like
good thing.
fucked us. No, it's not great because it's like it's
Mm.
not very bull markety. It's very chop markety, which is sort of what we're in. So like the sell in May and go away bros fucking win again.
Well, if you think about it, the whole BTC, ETH, and then trickle down into alts, it's just it's definitely not happening because you're viewing BTC and like hopefully soon ETH completely differently because they can get sustained TradFi money, but that TradFi money isn't going to buy like any of the scams that aren't regulatory friendly. So it's like this money's going in, even though like this was like a mid curve take a few months ago. Unless we get freshly minted stables actually going on chain coming into the system, it's like the majors. Yeah, they might be flat or slightly up by TradFi sustained infinite bid.
Mm.
But like, where's the money come from if the stablecoin market cap stays flat for another 2 months for the alts we're in? That will either stay flat, slowly bleed, as Swiss said, which is probably likely for some alts that have gone up a lot, like definitely likely, or they'll just chop, like they'll go down, go back up, go back down, and people will just get rinsed trading it or something. So,
What about you, Z? What do you think?
Oh man, I'm hoping we don't chop and just go down, but yeah, it feels like that's the case. Hence, why I'm stepping away. I don't want to G any bags too early.
Yeah.
Like my plan was always sell at in Q4 of this, like start selling Q4 of this year. So I'm no point changing that now. We always knew there were going to be some tough moments.
Yeah,
but
every
you forget how the tough moments feel sometimes. And you just kind of have to get through it, because I remember holding through so many 50% drawdowns last cycle. So
do you feel like it's tougher this time because like the past couple of months, like there's so many like we're so back moments?
It's tougher because like it really depends on your port size last cycle and now. Like if you're a few X up from your port all-time high from last cycle, fuck it fucking sucks right now. It'd be a struggle for you right now. If you're not even close to port all-time high, you probably don't really feel much right now.
What if you haven't been profitable for 2 cycles? What would your advice be for those people?
Maybe just go back to a normal job.
Asking for a friend.
But I know no one on this call is doing that. But yeah,
we're all extremely highly profitable.
If you're above your old port, or if you're above your last cycle all-time high, you'd be in pain at the moment. But you know what you had to hold through last time, so you're just gonna have to do it again. And if you really want to make lots of money, you're gonna have to hold through brutal shit like this. So
yeah,
it's all part of it.
Yeah.
How do you guys stay sort of positive or like stable like during times like this? Like, do you have like sort of things that you guys do that help?
Touch grass.
Yeah, touch grass is the brain dead one. I think it's always, it is a bit of a like pussy take, but I've always got the money that I need for my expenses, and obviously having a job is like probably the main one. I think if you're like in this space and like you're like all in, which is like a lot of people, like don't get me wrong, a lot of people are like 95% in, and then there's like people that are like 95% in but then like don't work. And it's just like, like I don't think that's kind of, because like if you've got like a decent job, like you're earning decent money, it's like you're trying to make it, and like, all right, cool, like if it goes down 50%, like you at least you tried, you still got like your fucking wagey that you can be enslaved to the system for over the next 50 years. But
you got cash flow, right? You got cash flow.
Yeah, you got the cash flow. But like if you don't, and then you get cut in half, and then what are you gonna do then? Not only are you like, you spend your whole time getting chopped up trading, you probably like closed out all your friends, like you're mentally fucked, but now you're broke. Like,
Now you're broke.
yeah,
Fuck
like
me.
so I think it's important to either, you know, have enough cash. I know Che doesn't work, but like he's deployed, but you know, he has living expenses for X amount of years or whatever. I don't know like he's fucking what his position is, but that's what he's said in the past. And then there's obviously the majority of people in crypto that are fully positioned, but they've got a good job. Like I know heaps of people in crypto, like you, Wanel, like a few others that like have really good jobs and like earn good money. So like I think that's important. Just thinking about that, like you're getting money coming in all the time, which can also mean that you can hold through these brutal drawdowns.
Yeah. The worst
What
thing
about-
is, it's not really even a brutal drawdown. It's just a massive tease. And for some
Edging,
reason,
someone might say.
someone might say edging, but the issue is that no one's going to be selling BTC at 69K again for a third time in the span of like, 4 years, right? So like you can kind of rule out the fact that we won't go down at this point. It's just, why is everything going down against the majors? And
I
that's
think
where I like
that
kind of
that kind
chew
of
the
makes
fat on.
sense. That kind of makes sense because like if the majors are chopping, but there's no new stablecoin flows, then like there is people winning. It's just that like the wealth's being distributed between the winners and the losers. So it's like the same amount of money, let's say, is spread across 100 people, and it was like evenly distributed. By the end of the
Mm,
chop, most of the distribution becomes skewed to one side, and I think that's what's
yeah,
happening.
yeah. Who knows, man? It just want everything to go up by 400%. Hey,
So I
that'd be good right about now.
So I pulled up this tweet from Chad Factory Doge 69. If you're not following him, you should go give him a follow. But he posted this chart showing this what was it? Coin Market Cap. They reviewed performance, year-to-date performance of the top 250 tokens versus BTC, ETH, and Solana. Like SPX as well. And majority of them didn't outperform BTC, ETH, and Solana. Like when I say majority, BTC was 66% didn't outperform, ETH 71%, and Solana 69%. So it's like that's why everyone's fucking mad because they were in all these other coins that weren't the majors, and they probably weren't playing meme coins either. And they were like all positioned from last cycle. They had their Lidos, they had their fucking Arbitrums or Optimisms or whatever other coin you want to sort of mention from last cycle. Packed their bags, didn't go up that much. Everyone else got fucking rich, and they didn't hold the majors either. So that's why everyone feels shit. It's definitely interesting.
I also think it's possible to be entirely spread too thin across many trends and sectors, because the memes that are currently pumping at the moment are also kind of pumping without other memes, or other areas that would go up in value. Like we haven't really had a runes pump yet.
Please.
Pepe seems to be going up a lot,
Please.
despite Doge not really doing much, with SHIB as well camped in that boat. So yeah, it's like very secular, which I think will be the trend for a good period of time. That was like similar to like the depths of FTX. There was always something going on where there was price appreciation, but it wasn't necessarily across the board.
I think it's not too dissimilar from last cycle. So, like, if I remember correctly, last cycle, because I came in a bit late, everyone had their 2017 bags. And I remember, like, I had friends that were there for the 2017 cycle. And throughout the whole of 2021, they kept telling me, oh, just wait till alt season comes. Just wait till alt season comes. And I'm like playing with AVAX, Solana. Like, I'm having an alt season. And they keep telling me about their IOTA bags and all of that sort of shit. And like it just never pumped. And it's kind of like like they were waiting for what they knew would do well from previous times, and they didn't adapt. Whereas like me, the newbie, the retard, was like playing around and being like, "Oh, this is fun. This is fun. This is what timeline's talking about," and then, excuse me, made a bunch of money doing so. But and then proceeded to lose it all again. But their bags just never performed like that whole time, and then they sort of like got jaded with the whole space, because they made all of these sort of like high conviction bets on previous cycle coins, and I feel like a lot of us, well, not necessarily us, but like a lot of CT has probably done the same thing, and haven't been willing to sort of adapt to the trend that's in front of them, and it's made it especially hard that it's been meme coins that's been the trend rather than like anything else. But I feel like probably a good segue into like the next topic is like, what do you guys think as of meme coins as a continuing trend, or do we see some sort of like, I don't want to make this sound cringe, but like a return to value of like where we actually care about some sort of tech again, and there's something that's like maybe not an existing coin, but like a newish coin that's got some sort of interesting tech in it. Like, do we see continued like meme coin outperformance, or do we start seeing something else performing well?
Depends what you mean by meme coin outperformance. Like, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like whiff from like nothing to
Not
like
necessarily. I
4
just mean like,
billions, or...
so like I would categorize it as this: you've got the majors, right? You've got your high caps or your mid caps, which are like maybe your L2s, your what's on the gecko. Let's pull up the gecko. Your Lido, probably your Cardanos, like your other L1s, IMX, like all of those sort of coins. Like your top 50s basically, or your top 50s, top 100s that are like not an L1 but are like somehow adjacent, provide an actual product that people use. That I would call as like so the majors would obviously be BTC, ETH, and Sol, and then everything else would be sort of like your sort of mid cap coins that are actually project related, and then you've got your meme coins. And then so if the majors go up 1%, you would expect that these other coins, like the further you go down the risk curve, should also outperform the majors. But if the majors are outperforming those other coins, and then the only other coin that's outperforming the majors is meme coins, I would call that meme coin outperformance.
Oh yeah. I get it now. Well, it depends, right? So like, if you're listening to this, or maybe you guys might want to chime in, depending on how many meme coins you hold, will determine how much additional risk that you have against the majors. So like, we know that the trend from the previous cycle is that everything bleeds against the majors. And so if WIF isn't outperforming Sol, or ETH or BTC, and like, because the issue with the meme coin performance, that would be on one side of the spectrum in comparison to the majors, which is BTC and ETH, apart from the obvious, is that meme coins can always like replicate. So you can always have like a new hot meme coin that like adds to the attention economy and sort of dilutes holders away from good value memes, if that's a thing. So like, you're sort of like battling two things. One is like relevance, and also outperformance. And yeah, you could be in the winning meme, but then the other issue is like, how much have you positioned in that meme to be outperforming the majors, which is a very like rational, a risk adverse thing to say. So like, you could get meme outperformance, but what are the chances that you as an individual have been able to capture that outperformance, sizing correctly to then beat the majors, of which you know the memes will bleed against?
Yeah, you got to pick the right meme, right? At the end of the day, like there's so many
Yeah,
memes.
yeah. So like, if you believe in the meme coin super cycle and you want to load up all of your bags across like 4 or 5 memes, that's fine. It's just, like, yeah, might just want to, I guess, see how that works in the long run. But yeah, I don't know. I actually forgot your question as I rambled on.
Just
so.
like no, so like probably if I contextualize it, so at the beginning of like let's say August last year, like when Z sort of convinced me around the Solana trade, a lot of the beta coins that Z and I would talk about were all like gaming coins. So it was Z. What was that coin that we really liked? Ori, wasn't it? Yeah. So like they were like genuine projects, real shit. And then somewhere along the line, probably like December, is when like we started aping into meme coins, and it's kind of been like the general consensus is like you don't fuck around with those other coins anymore. You just go straight into memes. So it's like, do we get a return back to like us caring about real shit again, or are we just going to continue playing along with memes?
Yeah, I think that'll occur with like the bleeding against the majors on a long enough time horizon, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, like
personally.
this cycle.
It'd be silly to bet against it, but I'm not playing the bet for it, if that makes sense. Like, if I look at CoinGecko and look at all the memes, I would not know which ones would end up winning proportionally to the other ones enough to size accordingly, and that's just like why I would opt out. Like, you could say that like Popcat could go to $1 billion, which I think is probably a given in the right market conditions. But had I sized for Popcat and not Pepe, I would have been missing out on the Pepe price increase, as that was the dominant meme coin in the last couple of weeks. But if you were positioned across Pepe, Popcat, and like a bunch of others, then you would have caught it. But against BTC and ETH, but yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, sure. I think all of it will go up. But yeah, just sizing accordingly and exiting, I guess. But will we have a moment where we return back to value? I think so. But in the sense of like finding things that are really undervalued that people get a use out of. So like DMT is still at like $100 million market cap. That's just like an example I can think of off the top of my head. So maybe people that use it find it appealing and want to buy it, I guess. Like, that might be like a return to value considering people use it. But I wouldn't say the same for things like AVAX, even though there is usage there. It's not a blockchain I'd consider a return to value trade, nor would I buy AVAX. So it's really subjective, and then there's like elements of objective looks that you can have on it. It just depends on how you want to cut it. I think runes should come back at some point, or go up at some point. Having looked at how easy it is to buy and sell on Magic Eden, I think there will be a resurgence there. I just don't know what it's going to get clumped in because it's obviously not going up with the meme coins right now. So I don't know.
What do you
maybe
mean?
it has its own.
My pups are doing great right now.
Are they?
No.
Are pups up? Oh dear. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Lionel? Because you're positioned a lot.
No, I was gonna probably like Z and Sticks trade a lot of memes, so I'm curious what their thoughts are.
I've kind of stopped now with memes. Popcat was probably my last like big meme bet, and I'm kind of sick of bonk botting and fucking aping small amounts of soul into little things and just destroying my wallet. So I've just like made one more bet on that fucking penguin coin, and now I'm just chilling, trying to do less. Less is more at the moment. I think I don't want to get chopped, and I've been chopped in the past, and I don't want to do it again. So
yeah.
Like, I have such good core bags. Like, why do I need to chop myself up right now?
Yeah, true.
There's no need.
If you like were to rebalance your portfolio right now based off of like the bags that you've got, and let's say like if you were just starting fresh with the same amount of capital that you've got, would you still allocate in the same way, or would you rebalance it to more of those core bags that you were like prime in that you were initially bullish on?
I think, yeah, I mean, it depends how much I would start with. I mean, look, if I was starting with, you know, I don't even want to put a number out there, but if I was starting with what I started at the start and I had to put it right now, I'd probably go heavier memes just because it's probably more ROI, but it's obviously super high, like much higher risk.
Yeah. But if you started with like what you've got now, like after this cycle, like if you were
if I started with what I had now, you mean like
yeah,
as in
like what you've got to, like let's say you just that was the money that you had in your account before, like last year, and then let's say you were fresh into crypto, same amount of money as what your bags are worth right now, and you were going to allocate, what would you?
Well, I think I'd always need a core bag in something that isn't a fucking meme, but
Yeah.
just to feel good, like
Yeah.
just to feel like I'm not a fucking dickhead, and that I'm not like that I'm taking it somewhat serious in the sense that it's all not reliant on a cat or a dog, which might be the best play, but for my mental state, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people probably shouldn't do that because there comes a point where you put so much into a meme and it dumps 50% and then you think you're an idiot and you sell it because you realized you're an idiot and then it pumps 5,000 times and then
every time.
Right, so you need that balance because
yeah,
if you don't have that big allocation in something that actually has some tech and some reason why you'll think that'll pump other than it's fucking cute or that retail will buy it, you just struggle to hold bags, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't have my Prime bag or my Soul bag or my Pudgies, I couldn't hold shit like a big bag of Popcat or a big bag of whatever.
Yeah.
Because I would feel so exposed to, these huge 60-70% drawdowns in 2 days. Whereas, Prime can draw down 50%, but it's a slow bleed. And I mean,
you missed last week's episode where Dark said the Prime team are decentralizing the supply right now.
Yeah, I did not hear that, but they are doing that. They definitely are doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't do anything different, I don't think. And yeah, I think everyone needs like core bags that you don't rotate out of, because I've seen a lot of people get chopped around when something new and hype comes around, and they'll punt a huge bag into it, whether that be selling a bag that they had conviction in for a new bag that everyone has conviction in, rather than just sticking to what they originally had conviction in. I don't know, I think a good example is like ERC 404s,
Yeah.
SPL whatever 2s2 or whatever it's called, like ghosts and shit. Like I saw a lot of people chop themselves up on that. They couldn't hold they couldn't hold the ghost, they couldn't hold the Pandora because the hype only lasted a few weeks. And after the hype was gone, their bags were down and they couldn't sell it, so they either hold it to the ground or they sell for a loss. Whereas if they just sat in their old one, chilled out, they would probably be either even or only slightly down, which is better than killing your port by chasing all this shit. Like most recently, Pups was pretty. Yeah, that was brutal because people rotated out of their Soul memes, into Pups to chase this BRC craze, and then BRC like took a fucking huge dive, and they couldn't get out of their BRC because they felt so strongly about it for a week. And they just watched it go to nothing. No shade to anyone, but like, it's yeah. I don't know. I saw a lot of people rotate out of shit that they originally were so bullish on for months, just because.
Yeah, I was even calling Swiss a mid curve.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, but what I will say is, if you want to buy a new bag, use fresh money. Don't like sell a big portion on a bag that you've had conviction in for 6 months or whatever it is. Like, because you're just going down the path of fucking destroying your mental, because you'll be like, in hindsight, if it goes down, you're like, I had so much conviction for 6 months in this bag, and I sold it for this bag that everyone else had conviction in, but I just followed their conviction.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I don't know who said it first, but someone said it ages ago, and I always like to say it. It's like, if it's not your conviction, it's not conviction, right? Yeah,
100%.
I always use that now because
yeah. And not only that, like if you borrow their conviction to buy, you don't also take their conviction to sell.
Yeah, you don't take their take profit like targets. You don't know their take profit targets. They could be dumping on your head 100% higher, like, and you'll just be holding the bag, and you still think they have the same conviction they had when they bought it.
Yeah, I learned that with DeFi Kingdoms with Ansem. back in the day.
Yeah, because their sizing is different to yours. They could size $1 million into something, get a 3x, and you size $1,000 and you got a 3x. You were hyped, and we won 10x, but they just dump on your head.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that happened. That happened with pups. I feel like a lot of people put a lot of size in early and probably made millions, but a lot of people were a bit late to that.
You can just
Yeah.
say
Also, the
Bala.
other thing too, like we've had so many fucking meme coins that have gone from small market caps to large market caps. You'd think at this stage that, like, and I'm saying this about myself, like, I think there would have been plenty of opportunity to make millions just from getting to stuff early. And like, I don't think I've come across too many people that have. Probably that, I'm not in the right circles, of course, but like we've just had like we had Pepe, we had like all the ETH ones, and then we had all the Sol ones, and then we had like Bohm, and then like we've just had so many that this is why I don't play it. Is I don't play memes. It's because there've just been so many that have gone up in value that like surely people have been able to like capture these and they make lots of money off it. But yeah,
For sure. What about you, Sticks? Sticks?
He's dead.
Sticks is AFK. He fell asleep.
Do you reckon he fell asleep? He usually chimes in. Hey,
he
what's
would.
going on?
He would. I reckon he's fallen asleep.
No way. It's 10 o'clock.
I reckon he has. I reckon he has. This is
reckon he has.
typical Sticks behavior.
There he is.
Hello?
Sticks? Sticks?
Guys?
Did you fall asleep?
We got you.
No, oh my god. I think my fucking headphones like slightly were like pulled out. I was talking. I was like agreeing with you guys for like 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
I was saying like, yeah, agree. Like I was like like, oh my god. I was like I was about to chime in and then I'm like, oh no, they're talking. But then lucky I didn't because I would have been like, why aren't they listening to me? Fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so going back to your point, I think I was like 100% agree with Swiss on the fact that there will be coins that like with quote unquote utility that there'll be a small number of them that actually outperform if they've got like a long lasting narrative. Like for instance, Ondo has had like a narrative and the narrative actually hasn't really dried up yet. It's still like, the ETH ETF sort of made it actually accelerate in a sense that's like, oh, real world asset, like, oh, it could be built on ETH, like on ETH, and then like Ondo is like the best real world asset. So a good narrative to play, and it hasn't actually died yet. Whereas a lot of other coins in that similar like utility bracket, their narratives have just dried up completely. So if we do get new narrative based utility tokens, I guess the way to pick the winners is to just speculate if the narrative is going to last longer than like a few weeks, basically. Because like we all know they're all going to have high FTVs. Like there's not going to be a token launch. It's like it's the fair launch. Like there's just not going to be one. So you just got to sort of figure out if they can last, the narrative can last. Otherwise, there won't be any buyers, and there'll just be too many sellers. But yeah, as for memes, I still think they're the best category. They haven't really shown any sign of slowing down for like 6 months until like they actually, die, which is like I can't see them dying with how big the cults are getting for some of these now, and like the dudes are just like aren't willing to sell unless it goes to like tens of billions of dollars, and even then they probably won't even sell. They'll probably just aim for like 100 billion or something crazy. But
do you think Ondo's a good buy like now?
Fuck, it's so hard. Like I could be mid curving it completely because like you could just buy it now and just like ignore the noise, and then it could be a 2x in the next like 2 weeks. But I don't know. See, I wish I could actually answer that.
That's what makes it
I wouldn't
hard,
buy
right?
it. I'm not going to buy it, but it could like it could just go to $5 within like the space of like a month or two, and like you've missed the entire move. And like a lot of people will just trade it based off its momentum. Like a lot of dudes just are just swing momentum traders, and they'll just jump in if they see the volume go up or prices are just moving up rapidly, like sort of what Pepe did. So it's just like I don't actually do that, so I can't like I buy stuff and just hold it for like a significant amount of time, like 6 months or 3 months, whatever it is, or a year. Some coins I don't even know, but I mean the narrative hasn't dried up. It's probably like with the ETH ETF being approved. When's it going to get approved? In like 2 months, if it like everything goes smoothly?
It's with the S1 announcement earlier, like I think it was 2 days ago. I think it's going to be like end of the month at this point.
Oh, okay. So
I think it's going to be a lot earlier
so
than people think. Yeah.
I mean, it could be an acceleration into that, and then maybe, you know, it sells off into that ETF. I don't fucking know. So like could keep going up for the next like 2-3 weeks. That would be my guess. But yeah, I there was so much time to accumulate it at like 20 to 30 cents that it's just like, in hindsight, it's like fucking hell. They gave so many people that much time to accumulate it. I mean, it's the same with like every coin, like Pepe, or like everyone had so much time to accumulate these. Even like the coins we're in, like Popcat, like there's been so many instances where it's been like 10, 15 cents. Could have bought it, got like a, you know, 5x on that if you know, sold at like 60, 70 cents, whatever. But yeah, I think memes will do well. I think I'm very bearish on like the new memes that are coming out like in the last like month or two or so. I'm very bullish on like the ones that were made in 2023. Like Pepe Mog, like Popcat, Whiff, Bonk. I feel like it's going to be really hard unless stablecoin market cap goes up to actually get newer memes to a market cap to a point where they can actually be listed on a centralized exchange. Like I know there's always new memes being launched every freaking day on exchanges, but it's just difficult since there's already been like established memes for every ecosystem. Like for ETH, you've got Pepe and Mog, like everyone knows they're like the main dogs, and then you've got like for Sol, you've got, you know, Bonk, Whiff, and then I guess you could chuck Popcat in there. It's pretty big. Like obviously like Mew and stuff, and then for base you've got Brett. I think that's at like 1 billion now, which is kind of crazy. It's basically the main meme on base, I guess. So like everyone sort of knows which coins are like for which ecosystem, and the cults and stuff like that are pretty big now. So I'd rather just pick one of those, and eventually, you know, the money will rotate into that bag if they're not in it right now. Like for instance, when Popcat was going up, Brett was going down. Like it's just the money's just going around everywhere. You know what I mean? So it'll eventually come back to your coin if the cult's good enough. Which I think all those coins I mentioned will like do well, and they'll probably even do better if the stablecoin market cap goes up, which I think will happen later this year when it's election period, and I think we'll get like 2 rate cuts this year. I'm predicting, but as I'm not going to talk about macro because it's pointless. I'm just gonna throw it out there as a guess. So yeah.
Sticks
bullish
on his
memes.
macro LARP arc.
Yeah, macro LARP arc. Yeah, bullish memes. I think, as D said, you should also have like one core position that doesn't make you feel like a retard if your meme actually does go down 50%. For me, that's like I've just held staked ETH for like a year and a half now, so that's just what I'm holding. I've still got like other, you know, utility based shit. So like I got Penguins, which is like technically it's a real business. So could call that like real utility.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like tier as well as my high FTV Ponzi. So yeah, I'm like spread out kind of good. I've got like enough stables to a point where I feel comfortable like just in my core position. So like I'm cool. Like even though this is like really choppy right now.
So speaking of penguins, did you guys see the announcement this week about the game?
Oh, that was so cool. Yeah, it was like a mobile game or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a Mythical
Fuck, that is so cool.
Announced partnership with Pudgy
Hopefully there's microtransactions and they make millions off it.
Yes.
Then they can value. Then Penguin value goes up.
Yeah, 100%.
Please.
Yeah, that's so cool though. I
That
think
is sick.
eventually Penguins, my theory is like they make this game, whatever, and then eventually I think they make like a really cool kids TV show as well, which like is popular. That's I know gets like streamed on like I don't know like Disney or something, and then Penguins, you know, either get bought out or get on a deal with like one of those big, you know, platforms.
Yeah, for sure. They
Which would be cool.
also we also hit 20 billion GIF views on Giphy this week too.
That's so cool. I
Just
always
nuts.
see penguins on like if you go on TikTok or like Instagram Reels, their videos get so many views, man. Like millions. Like and I saw a video on TikTok, it got like 800k likes or something, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, hey.
Very relatable. It's cool.
I don't know if you saw the one that they posted today. It's like the first one that's like crypto related. And it's like I've just put it up on the screen, but it's like the dude's about to sell his position after the chart's going down.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
And he's like,
and the Chad
no.
walks in.
The Chad's like, no, you buy.
And it does like the V shape. There's like
yeah. Like that's so sick.
That's how I'm feeling right now.
yeah.
I need a Chad in my life.
Bro, you are the Chad. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm bullish on Penguins. I still think it's one of those like plays that makes a lot of sense. I think the what's it called? The Layer 0 airdrop. They've talked a lot about it recently. There's been a lot of stuff around the Sybil detection and that, but it seems like pretty much on lock that Penguins will get Layer 0 airdrop, which should be really good.
That's it.
So
more free money is very nice.
Very happy about
also,
that.
I have a screenshot here, guys, and it's the listings roadmap from Kraken, and I saw that they did one the other day with a bunch of tokens like that, a bunch, and Popcat was one of them. The screenshot here has only 4 tokens that I think they're listing, and it's so ERC20 tokens. There's 3 of them, and then there's only 1 Solana token, and it's Popcat. So
nice.
Hopefully, a nice spot listing and perps listing, I think, is approaching for Kraken, which should be good.
Please.
Yeah, I think Bybit's listing Popcat soon too on spot.
Yeah, spot. I heard that, which is good. We need more spot markets. Don't really have any at all, to be fair, on major tier 1 exchanges. So that's good for our bags. No Shilio.
I'd be happy for Mew to just like fade from irrelevance, but it's
oh god, when I saw it today, higher market cap, I was like, it has a video though.
It has a video. They make
staying
cartoons.
Staying power. It has staying power because it has a video.
God, I hate how they're called meme coins, but like
it's not a meme.
Is like Popcat's the only like actual meme.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's frustrating. The cabal, they're doing things that I couldn't believe they're capable of, but they're doing it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Has there been anything else interesting this week that's sort of played in the news? It's been mostly like just celeb shit and grinding down.
Ansem just like fighting with everyone because his takes have just been so random. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know, it's all subjective, I guess.
Yeah, like there's some of it like I kind of like get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But
then there's like like a lot of it's just like dude, like you're really like backing up like these rappers because you think they're onboarding people, bruh. They're just rugging these people, if anything. Like
yeah.
And I feel like Ansem's gotten to a point where I mean like he just wants to get to a point where he's like the crypto influencer that like deals with the famous people for crypto. Like he's the person you go to if you're like, you know, in New York, you're a famous person, you want anything to do with crypto. I feel like that's what he wants to like be. He just wants to like hang out with like all these, you know, famous people. Which is like, I guess if that's what he wants to do, that's cool. But it's just like some of the takes he's come up with, it's just like, ugh, dude, like. But yeah.
There's better ways of doing it, right?
That's a good way of putting it. Like I can understand you wanting to, you know, it's good to actually have these celebrities and stuff, more attention. More attention is always good, but like the way it's being done is wrong.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
What's everyone's? I've got a question. What's everyone's thoughts on this? The next like 2 to 3 months before we get into the back end of Q4. What are you guys predicting? How the market's going to play out? I think we spoke about this last Poad, but it'll be interesting with how the sentiment is right now. I'd love to get your thoughts.
Up. And I'm just gonna keep saying up because that's all I care.
I you know what? I respect that. Holding spot and just saying up is a great strategy.
Yeah, why not? Why change it? Why change anything?
Yeah.
I'm not going to trade, even if I think it's going down. I'm not going to short it anyways.
Yeah,
Who cares, right? I don't.
So true.
So no point. I mean, look, yeah, it could go down, but I'm not touching shorts. I'm not touching anything. So up in the 5 to 6 month time horizon. Up.
Great
So
goal.
that's me.
Swiss.
But the Giga Chad brains might have a take on what will happen in the short term. That isn't just up.
For me, like I've got like I'm up biased. I'm definitely up biased. I saw, ironically, from all sources, it was the All In Pod was talking about the price appreciation of Bitcoin after halving today on their podcast, which was interesting to see because they've like Chamath and that's been like all in Bitcoin for a long time. But yeah, it was interesting just they were pulling up some of the infographics on that today, which was interesting. But you know, like if you look back historically, like the post halving pumps haven't happened until months later. So I think last halving was June or July 2020 it was, and then we didn't get the pump till like October, November. And so, you know, we were only like a month or two like before the last halving. So like it was in April, I think. So like that would put it like around August, September as like the same sort of time frame as like when BTC would start pumping again. So I think that's happened historically as well. So I think like not being up bias is pretty unwise here, just given historical context. But the one, if I was to throw out a bear case, not that I'm being bearish, but I did have this thought beforehand that I thought might be interesting to throw out there. But do you think that with the sheer amount of new tokens that are out now, because you can create so many with such ease with pump.fun, etc., and the amount of tokens that were created and released with all of the airdrops in the last 6 to 8 months, that and then all of the tokens from the 2021 cycle, that the amount of capital that's come into the system and is playing like the cycle is so dispersed that it doesn't concentrate as much as it did in the 2020 cycle and the previous cycles before that. And because it's so dispersed that, you know, yes, we reached all-time highs, but because like the capital's so spread thin that if it was previous cycles, we'd probably be 100K or something by now. But because it's not, and because there's so much like inflation on all of these high FTV coins, there's so many new coins printing on Solana all the time with all of the meme coins, that like maybe we've had the bull run and we're just not seeing it because it's just so much like dispersion because of the amount of new coins that are around. Like that's something that like kind of jumped into my head today.
I think it's highly interesting to think that way because it is very true that with each cycle there is capital just tied up in shit that is basically doing nothing really. I mean, like everything does nothing, but I'm saying if you're speculating on the new shit, like there's at least stuff going on with, you know, Sol and stuff like that. But like if you've got, you know, $6 billion tied up in like Polkadot, or you got 15 or 20, like 10 billion in Cardano, it's like, or 5 billion. I don't know what the fuck its market cap is. It's like there's a lot of capital just tied up doing nothing really, and it's just like, well, what could that have capital been doing instead if it, if it just went into the new shit? Because because the space was so small in 2017, like whatever capital got tied up in the other projects, it didn't matter because it was such a small amount of capital in comparison to what came after. We got at 0 rates and then like complete stimulus capital injection into crypto. But it's coupled what you said, coupled with 5% rates. I can understand your point of view where it's like it's hard to justify having like hundreds of billions of dollars in a specific coin at one time if it's not the two majors or whatever. But hopefully, as I said, if we can get some sort of relief with,
like, if you look at like this is just on Deck Screener, right? If I just sort by like low market cap coins, like the amount of SOL that's like locked up in these liquidity pools on all of these.
Well, there's
like,
a lot of SOL locked up in
coins.
there's a lot of SOL also being locked up in like Pump as well. They're like locking up a lot of SOL. So
there's so much money here, but it's like dispersed. Like some of these have got like 200k liquidity, 500k liquidity, like, but they're like worth fucking nothing. A lot of these coins, so it's like the money's come in, but it's so dispersed, and so like it's really hard to like get those huge outperforming moves like we saw like back at the end of 2023 on some of these coins, like on the memes specifically. Because there's just so many coins now, and like when people's like coins go to like 0 for them, they don't sell it, they just keep it in the wallet for like the hope that one day it pumps again. So like you've got so many of these tokens that are just existing that people could sell for like $10 or $5 or whatever it may be, but they don't, because it's like it's just nothing for them. But like if you summed it all up across all of the wallets, then like it would probably equate to like quite a large amount of money. And then, but because there's so much dispersion, because there's so much like new coins, it's like it's not all concentrating into like ETH or Solana or like any of the majors anymore. And like maybe we had, quite a substantial crypto move, but it's just not concentrated as much as it was before.
I think there's a lot of money tied up also in specific chains based off your specific bias. So it's like ETH maxis who made money on ETH would like to just stay on ETH. Like you've got your moggers and your right wing MAGA Pepe holders and stuff like that who like missed the whole SOL. Yeah, like they've missed the whole SOL move just because of their like bias towards ETH. So that's also being like, whereas last cycle you had all the on-chain activity was like sort of happening on ETH. So everyone's money, if you wanted to do shit, DeFi summer, and then I mean not all, but like majority of the money was just on ETH. Whereas now, because Sol is so efficient and big, like people, half the participants have moved to Sol, or more than half. So it's like very
on
dispersed.
ETH you wouldn't sell your coin because the gas fee was too high, and you wouldn't play around with like so many 100%. Coins. Whereas like now it's like, oh, I'll just fucking jeet it and I'll go to the next one.
Yeah. It's interesting. But
what about you, Swiss? Like, on your thoughts on next few months?
Probably just be a continuation, I reckon. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, probably just bleed against the majors. I don't think the majors will do anything too big. I think they'll just sort of range up and range down. But I think altcoins will sort of bleed, and whatever performs, well, whatever whatever sector decides to perform will perform pretty hard, given it's the only thing that's going to be going up at that time. But yeah, it could be memes, might be something else, could be Ondo. Who knows?
I think that's a good way to look at it, is like whatever performs well during the chop, like is probably a good indication as to when there's like like when the majors start performing again. It's a good spot to allocate to.
Yeah, I don't think the majors will start performing until maybe like September, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That
End of
would actually
September.
kill so many people's spirits.
Myself
kill mine.
included.
Mine included.
Mine
But like,
included. People have yeah.
from a price perspective, in terms of the way that it's currently set up, it actually doesn't look that bad.
Bro,
No.
It
BTC
would
looks
look like
amazing.
something to
Yeah.
it's
Like,
just, it just doesn't. The vibes just don't seem to match.
dude, if you were in just purely BTC, so like you'd just be like chilling, like laughing.
Mm.
Like, I mean, obviously you could argue that yeah, you've missed like whiff and like you've missed all these
Hey,
like
Risk
ginormous,
adjusted returns.
yeah, risk adjusted returns. But it's like you know that like if you were just like in BTC, you're like, oh well, like everything goes down against me, and like if BTC goes to zero, all your shitcoins like are worthless as well. So it's like if you're just in BTC, which has like the inflows and stuff like that, it's like if it goes down $1,000, you're like whatever, but then everyone else's coins go down like 5%. So you don't feel anything, but it's like everyone else is like ah.
Yeah,
So
true
it's
that.
yeah, that's the vibes on CT, as you said. You got up that 250 coins. None of them can. The majority, aside from a couple like Pepe Ondo, that have vastly outperformed the majors, but and Sol, technically it's like done a really good in the last year or so. But yeah, as you said, in this year especially, not many have actually outperformed BTC, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. What about you, Sticks?
I'm guessing something similar to Swiss. I was probably getting, I think we bottom out at some point this month and then slowly make our way higher in July, but like it won't be like a big move. It'll just be like slow chop, maybe creep up a bit, and then I think acceleration into like August, maybe chill out in September, and then I reckon up only after that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
It's just a
Look,
guess.
as only one coin top holder, I hope that that's the case.
Oh god.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
It's kind of wild how many, like I was just thinking about it before, how many like different meme coin communities there are on CT. Like I'll do like a post, and then the reply guys that are trying to, you got to get your likes for your Telegram. What's that thing called where in Telegram you got to get a
The
certain
block
amount of,
thing where they block your chat for.
yeah, like
Oh,
they'll
the
just
raids. Oh
yeah, the
god.
raids, yeah,
Yeah.
they'll like swarm my posts, and I'll be like, I can't believe there's this many like communities.
Oh my
Holy
god, Sticks
shit.
liked my tweet. Bullish.
Yeah, like it's just like, bro, like no wonder our coins are so fucking,
Yeah.
everything's so spread thin. Jesus,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's interesting.
For sure. Cool. All right. Well,
Fucking, yeah, wrap it up.
should we
Yeah.
leave it there?
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Good.
fucking
Awesome.
a bit
Well,
tired.
thanks everybody. This has been another episode of the Brotato Poad, Le Poad. Thanks for tuning in. There was no boosts today, so no funding of Stix's new pair of headphones, which he so desperately needs.
I'm actually going to get them tomorrow, so
But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We will get this uploaded on the YouTube soon. So thanks for everyone that tunes on there. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're also doing a few shorts recently just to get the algos going and play around in the little YouTube game. So if you can view those, that would be much appreciated from all of our people here on the Brotato podcast. So thank you very much. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
see you guys.
Bye.
See you guys.